This is a review of the IT, or International Traveller bag. I think they call it the Max All Airline Black bag, but it's basically just a wheelie case. I was going away on business several weeks ago and just wanted a cheap bag basically for a couple of nights stay. So this is the one that I chose basically at an Argos store. It's just about £20, I think £19.99 was the exact number, but it is, as I say, just a wheelie bag. I think when you're buying these kind of bags, you're struggling online sometimes to find enough information about quite how they cope, particularly the cheaper ones, in real use. So I've been on a train with this one and taken it quite a lot of miles now, probably about 10 miles on foot, using the wheels and obviously the handle at the top. So I just thought we'd take a look at it just to show people that it does seem to stand up to reasonable wear and tear. So as I say, standard kind of wheelie bag. Difference I did notice, you may have noticed the big IT badge. If you look on, and the blue up on here actually, if you look on Argos's website or in their catalogue, I think at the moment it still shows a sort of Union Jack or something here as a logo, which is quite nice, and red or something or other on the top. That doesn't seem to be the case in the bags that are actually going out, or certainly not the one I picked up in store. The other difference that's noticeable, just open it up, this particular one seems to have quite a light interior. Again, not a huge issue. I'd probably have preferred the black type interior that it suggested on the site, but as I say, that's part of doing business in catalogue companies. You tend to get a slightly different variety potentially when you actually purchase to what was photographed at the time, but it's pretty damn similar to what they were doing. So looks wise, it's got a relatively flimsy front. This is what's making it quite so light, and the same is true on the back. This is quite lightweight material. Trying to look from the inside, you can see the bars here of the handle on the inside, so it's very lightweight. That's just pushing the fabric one single layer at the back for the rear, as I say there. But because you've got these bars, it's helping to deal with the weight such that that doesn't seem to cause any impact. There's nothing I would say untoward about the way that the bag has coped with the volume. It was quite well filled with all the kind of junk I take on a couple of days away, really. A lot of clothing and bits and bobs. So that's the key stuff probably from there. I'm trying to think what else is particularly important here. Zips obviously handling perfectly well in the short period of time that I've been using it there, so I don't think that's going to be a concern. Probably the most obvious thing to look at is going to be the wear and tear on the rollers, etc. here. So unsurprisingly, there's been a fair amount of wear on the stands, if that's the right way to put it. But nothing that really surprises me is the thing. They get scratched. I haven't treated this with any amazing level of respect because I wanted to test it properly as a piece of kit, but it does mean it's suffered a little bit there. And the wheels, if I can try and show again there, that's going to be probably a little bit more difficult. Let me try it like this. Just standard wear and tear, really. That is quite a lot of miles still on there, so I'm quite happy. The fixture of these seems pretty solid, so it definitely feels like they're gonna last perfectly well. The only things that it does seem to have scraped is a little bit here that it's managed to scrape, I guess because there isn't an awful lot of gap between the wheel itself and the bottom of the case, so it does seem possible to catch, but there is a piece of rubber there to take the damage, and the same true on the bottom one there. That's also just got a bit of a knock and a bump, but hey, that's what the wheelie bag's all about. And finally, there is one of these corners here. I have noticed, I'll do the zip up so it's a bit more squared up there. You can see the bag here has taken a little bit of a knock. I'm not sure quite what I managed to scrape that on there, but it's gone through probably a bit more than I would expect on a bag like this. So it would suggest, although this feels pretty tough kind of fabric, it does suggest that I've probably been a little bit rough there, and that's what most people probably are. So the bag's probably not going to remain in a pristine condition over a long period of time, But as I say, my concern buying a bag that's just 20 quid is, what are you going to get for that, and is it going to fall to bits within the first few days? I'd say, having walked this for, as I say, something certainly over 5 miles, probably 10 miles on the wheels, is that this seems to stay pretty solid as a piece of kit. I'm pretty happy. These handles, if I can try and show the metal inside there, so it's not just a flimsy piece of rubber all on its own. It pulls out with a metal section in there, and the same is true down the side of the bag. It's a proper decent handle, so you can have a bit of confidence in using that handle. And this on the top is obviously metal itself to pull in and out. I've only pulled it part way up, by the way. It does go significantly further up, so as a tall person, I'm over 6 foot. I had absolutely no issue wandering around train stations and all sorts else with that as a piece. So yeah, pretty simple bag, just £20. A few little differences, as I say, look and feel wise, particularly on the front here. I was slightly more disappointed. It doesn't look quite as nice. That is plastic, by the way. At £20 you're not going to be getting something metal as a look particularly, but yeah, it's an acceptable look and feel, and it seems to have stood up really well as far as I'm concerned to the wear and tear of a couple of days away on the train, in a hotel, and generally moving around, wheeling up and down the main roads of the UK. So feel free to add any comments if there's any questions, if there's anything I've missed, and I'll try and answer that. But as I say, all I was trying to do with this review is give people a bit more of a real view of the bag itself. I have just noticed one thing I completely failed to do, totally unimportant, but I will share it for anybody. This is how Argos wrapped it, so there is no big box if you're expecting some posh retail packaging. It literally came in a single bag with their good old number there, so if you're questioning whether I'm talking about the very same product you've been considering, if you're buying from Argos, I don't know about other stores, that is the product number that they choose to use for this this particular bag. Hopefully that's covered all the key kind of items. As I say, ask any comments if there are any bits and pieces, and I would perfectly well recommend this bag. It's not going to last forever, but at £20 it's certainly going to do me quite a lot of trips, I think, like this. I'm pretty confident those wheels and handles are going to hold sturdy, and yeah, it'll take the rough and tumble perfectly reasonably well. So there we go. Thanks so much, everyone.